episode 15 of Keke's Guide to Training Your Human. My name is Amanda Henderson.
And I'm Michael Van Camp. And we're the guest narrators helping Ken Van Camp for the special Halloween edition of Keke's Guide. In each episode, Keke presents a dog's perspective on life and growing up in a human world.
In this episode, we'll hear about preparations for Halloween and tips for picking the ideal canine costumes. We'll also hear about Keke's investigation to find the murderer on the loose in her house.
In this episode, we present lessons 44 and 45 for Keke's Guide to Training Your Human. I hope you enjoy it as we start with
Lesson 44. Halloween is coming. Is your dog equipped to defend your house against ruthless invaders? 5 tips for picking canine costumes. Halloween is coming, and hordes of monsters, zombies, soldiers, and other evil beasts will soon invade your house. They will come to your door demanding treats, under threat of performing tricks upon your household. How can you defend your home against such threats? How can you arm yourself with the tools necessary to counter a full-scale home invasion? For this article, I reviewed the incoming threats and tried out available defenses to provide this invaluable guide to protecting your homestead against the annual October invasion. Following are 5 essential tips for picking your canine Halloween wardrobe that will arm you to the teeth and avoid the shame of a lame ensemble. Number 1. Show authority. We dogs have always had a monumental responsibility to protect our homes from invaders. Our job is to stop potential intruders before they ever reach the house through a combination of intimidation, threats, and bribery. We must command respect, and for this, our appearance should project an image of authority. Good examples are police officers, soldiers, superheroes, and skilled negotiators. Imagine the look on an intruder's face when Iron Man appears at the door on jet-powered roller skates. Did you ever see a dog on roller skates? If not, check out the video. The link is in this episode description. It's totally sick. Number 2. Project power. Suppose you secured an Iron Man costume as previously recommended. Wouldn't it be cool to hold a repulsor ray in one paw and the family cat in another? You want to throw the kitty at your visitor because, duh, what else would you do with it? And then blast the cat with your repulsor ray to make sure it never comes back. That will make the intruder and the cat think twice. But if they do come back, be ready with a Ghostbusters green slime machine. Oh boy, didn't you always want to slime somebody like that? Number 3. Instill fear. Your objective is to induce fear in the hearts of your subjects. Fear of those growling fangs, those razor-sharp nails, and a tongue that will lick them to death if they renege on their promise to play fetch with your favorite squeaky toy. Number 4. Display a vicious streak a mile wide. It's important to show your adversary that you are ruthless and unpredictable. Keep them guessing whether that pink tongue will lick them or give them a harsh raspberry. Number 5. Be open to negotiations. Let's face it, a dog requires support and respect from the humans in the household. If your humans interrupt your vicious barks with a warning like, "Keke, hush," what can you do? How can you drive off zombies if your bark is perceived to lack bite? In the end, if all of the above techniques fail, you may be forced to reach an agreement with these terrorists. You need to be a tough negotiator. I'm thinking of Denzel Washington in Inside Man. Demand only the highest quality puppy treats like chicken chips or pepperonis. Don't be bought off with second-rate dog bones. And if all else fails, run away! And don't forget to protect your tail by tucking it between your legs. Conclusion. I hope these 5 tips have given you ideas to get the baddest Halloween costume on the block. What is your favorite canine Halloween costume? Let me know your, or your dog's, tips for dealing with the October intruders. Send me an email or post on my Facebook page. The links are in the episode description. Lesson 45. Vampires and other murderous monsters on the loose. Murder, mystery, and mouse droppings. It was a restless night. We had been to the village square the night before to join the Halloween festivities, and I wore my ghost costume. I was a scary apparition, but hardly the invincible Iron Man I had wanted to be. There were much more frightening creatures than me out there. Zombies that looked like they had just stepped from the grave writhed on the ground to the tune of Thriller. Frankenstein, his green head bobbing in time to the music, roared an evil laugh upon seeing me. From around the corner came a towering Grim Reaper, appearing to float over the ground as his sharp, pointed scythe searched for its next victim. I drooped my head, hoping to hide beneath the white mask of my ghostly costume. To my right, vampires with bloodied shirts sat at a table drinking deeply from smoking mugs. They spoke in hushed tones, one eyeing me and grinning, his white fangs glistening in the moonlight. That night, I dreamed of those fangs, dripping with fresh blood, a dark red tongue darting about an evil, smiling mouth. In the morning, I awoke to an unfamiliar odor in the house, a fetid stench of decay mixed with a dash of evil omen. I searched for the source of the smell, finally finding a furry brown lump on the floor by the living room bar. I wasn't sure what it was, but it had the rancid smell of decaying flesh. "Mousie," I called, hoping my friend could identify the corpse.
Eek!
He exclaimed as he arrived by my side.
It's a dead mouse!
Wonder where it came from. Mousie turned to me, eyes bulging.
It was murdered in cold blood!
I inched closer, despite the stench. I wondered aloud how he could tell it was murder.
Look at the teeth marks!
He said, pointing to a round hole in the mouse's neck and another about an inch away near the front leg. But who would do such a thing? Mousie narrowed his eyes as his gaze met mine.
There's only one thing that would kill a defenseless mouse for fun. It's that cat!
I hadn't seen much of the cat since we'd agreed to a truce, but I knew it was still living under my roof. My brave alter ego, Dragontooth, had chased the cat away, only to have my humans welcome the kitty back. Mousie had convinced me that cats were cruel and evil, but the humans had overridden me. The cat and I finally agreed to an arrangement. It would have the back bedroom, and I would have the rest of the house. I immediately went to the beast's lair to confront my nemesis. Mousie stayed behind out of fear for his life. I found the cat on its favorite window ledge, its brown, black, and yellow-striped body poking out from behind the blinds. "Hey, Furball," I called. "Why'd you kill the mouse in the living room?" The cat blinked.
"The name's Zoe,"
she said.
"And you're a fine one to be calling names, being a furball yourself."
"I'm a hair dog," I said, turning my head to show off my silky mane. "I don't have any fur." Zoe responded with a cough and a choking sound. "Are you okay?" I asked.
"Hairball,"
she said, chuckling. I ignored the taunt. "So why'd you kill the mouse?" She looked down from her shelf and narrowed her eyes.
"I haven't touched any mice in this house."
"So you deny knowing anything about it?"
"Oh, I got a good whiff of it. Anyone with half a nostril could detect the dead body for the past 2 days. But it was not my concern, so I stayed out of it.
Mousie was the first to speak as we re-examined the dead rodent.
So, did you wring a confession out of that frosty feline?
Ignoring his question, I pointed at the fang holes in the corpse. Zoe's snout is about the same size as mine.
You mean the cat? Are you on a first-name basis now?
Yes, her name is Zoe, and her fangs wouldn't be much farther apart than mine. But the distance between these holes is twice the distance between my fangs,
What's the difference?
Mousie said.
Nothing else could have killed it.
Looking over my shoulder, Mousie suggested that the cat had gotten the mouse with just one fang, then moved her mouth over and made the second puncture.
Maybe with the same fang?
He added. I said, maybe. This time, I convinced Mousie to join me in confronting Zoe. Dragon Tooth will protect you, I promised. Mousie knew what Dragon Tooth was capable of, having been caught by my alter ego once before. As we entered the back bedroom, the cat stopped licking her paws.
Back again so soon?
Zoe, I said, could you please show us your teeth?
I'd rather not.
The cat replied, rubbing its head against the window corner. Why not? Do you have something to hide?
You're in my part of the house again,
Zoe warned.
and you're barking up my tree.
I pointed out that if she killed the mouse, she was in my section of the house.
I already told you. I didn't kill it.
She resumed her grooming. Listen, I said. You had a motive. It's in the genes for cats to track and kill mice. And you had the opportunity while everyone was asleep in the house. I'm trying to determine if you had the means. We could clear this up quickly if you show us your teeth. Zoe yawned, a vast, gaping yawn that revealed an empty mouth. Mousie gasped, and I said, You have no teeth.
I have a few molars in the back,
The cat said.
Are we done now?
Yes, and I'm sorry we bothered you. Mousie stared at me.
So that's it? You're giving up because it has no teeth?
Not just yet. Later that day, I called Mousie back to the crime scene.
Not again.
The mouse complained. Look at this. Mousie looked and shrugged.
Mouse droppings. So what?
Are they yours? Mousie sniffed the pellets and shook his head. The presence of droppings next to the body is consistent with the mouse lying here, perhaps for a day or more before it died.
Maybe it slept here.
Mousie suggested. I don't think so, I said. This is not a good hiding place.
What difference does it make? Who else would murder a mouse in cold blood except a killer cat?
I pointed to the fang holes. And what made these holes? Zoe doesn't have teeth.
Maybe she wore fake teeth, like the vampire teeth humans put in their mouths for Halloween.
You mean like these? I asked, producing a pair of white plastic teeth with fangs. I held it against the dead mouse, and the fang holes aligned perfectly.
Exactly!
Exclaimed Mousie. And what were these plastic teeth doing behind your bed? The mouse squirmed and avoided my eyes.
Maybe someone put them there?
Maybe that someone was you? Mousie sniffed.
Okay, I found the mouse dead of natural causes. I discovered those vampire teeth, and I made the fang holes. So you think the cat killed it?
But why would you do that? What did Zoe do to you?
It's a cat! It's only a matter of time before it starts hunting mice again.
Mousie, I said, not everyone is what they appear to be. Some cats might be nice. Mousie apologized for lying, but I said it was Zoe who deserved his apology. And try to get to know her, I suggested. Don't judge a creature by its droppings. Well, you don't have to get all melodramatic about it, I said. I turned to look at Mousie. He was staring at the window, mouth frozen in a scream. There, hanging upside down in the window, was a bat.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Keke's Guide to Training Your Human. I'm Michael Venkamp.
And I'm Amanda Henderson, and I hope you've enjoyed this performance. If so, please rate it and leave feedback. You can post feedback on our Facebook page or email. The addresses are in the episode description. We're dropping a new episode of Keke's podcast every weekend on all major podcast apps. Make sure you follow Keke's Guide so you'll be notified as each episode becomes available.
So what will happen next? If you show up at Keke's house on Halloween, what superhero will Keke be dressed up as when she comes to the door? And will her pink tongue lick you or give you a harsh raspberry? And what evil will the new bat bring upon Keke's house? Be sure to join us for the next episode of Keke's Guide in Training Your Human and find out.
Because dogs are people too, you know?